So who is Matt Steer? Well, let's go back to 2010. And in 2010, I had hit rock bottom. I was overwhelmed, feeling depressed, feeling like I was living someone else's life and that I was living someone else's dreams, that I was not aligned with my core and my purpose for why I have been placed here on this earth. I realized I had become a pleaser. The man that I thought I had to be, I realized was a lie. It didn't serve my marriage or the woman I was with. And I remember being told by people around me, by guys, suck it up. That's what real men do. Yet bitterly inside, I was a mess, unhappy with my poor mental health and ultimately suppressing my masculine core. I realized my first marriage was over. I'm going to roll back a little bit here for you guys because I talked about this just a little bit earlier. Before 2010, I was busy chasing my career and goals. I was living a life in nursing that was something that I was told to do, to feel secure. You'll always have a job. Because before that, I wanted to enter into this field, into life coaching, to help people to make changes to their life in a future sense, not stuck in the past. But I chose at that stage to live what people had been telling me, and that was not aligned with my core. I don't regret those changes, but all of these things began to stack up. And that's why when 2010 and I realized I was overwhelmed, depressed, feeling like life should end, that is this all my life could be? That's what I was asking myself. Is this all that life could be? I was so unhappy, yet I had succeeded in my professional life. I had achieved those goals. I was working after being told as a paramedic, I applied to be a paramedic, that I wasn't smart enough or good enough to be able to be a paramedic. I then went on to nursing and worked in intensive care. I worked in an emergency department, and I did all of this all the way up to 2010. So 10 years of working in these environments. I then was overwhelmed and sad and upset, and ultimately my marriage was becoming an ending. It was ending, and I was not happy with where I was at. I'd also decided up to that point, I didn't want kids. I didn't really want to bring a family up in what and how I was living my life, because I knew I was not living my core, my true self. And so what I decided to do at this stage was I decided, like all healthcare professionals, to seek a psychologist. That's what you would do. That's what we're trained to do. But after a year and a half of seeing the psychologist, and I had some incredible insights, I had some great learnings from this event, but ultimately a year and a half later, I was no further down the road than I was when I had walked into this, because I was spending every session in the past. I wasn't creating my future. I wasn't looking at my past events of my life and saying, right, how can I make a more empowering, a better meaning from these? Instead, I was stuck there. And so a year and a half later, I just felt like I just had inherited more problems that I needed to keep working on in order to be in that space. So I went back to my roots. I went back to my core. I went back to what I had studied in the 90s. And that was when I was studying my NLP, my CBT, ACT therapy, all that kind of stuff. That's where my passion was. And I decided to get a coach. I decided that the coach is the person who sees things that I don't see, so I can get towards my end goals. They can get me closer to that end outcome. And I decided I wanted to find the person who was living the life and had the distinctions that I needed to create the same results. I needed to know that they were also grounded in their purpose for their life, because then I would believe that my life had purpose. Because up to this point, I just didn't feel like it had anything. I was living a lie and living other people's dreams and their version of what they wanted their life, or what they were telling themselves that they wanted their life to be. I needed this person also to be authentically aligned with their values, because ultimately values are the guideposts for life. And that's something that has become very evident now in my life. As a result of seeking this person out, and in short 10 weeks session, I began to create the life that I wanted to. I was doing the things that I wanted to do. I was on the adventures. I took my 7 years and just ran off and did lots of men things and did things that didn't require me to be tied down here in a relationship. And I got that shit out of my system and had a friggin' awesome time. And that's what's led me to here with you today. I am here now as someone who has attracted the ideal partner. I got very clear on what she looks like, the kind of relationship I wanted to have with her, the person I wanted to stand beside on this magical journey of life that we have. This person, as I stand beside her, when I feel like things aren't going very well, when things aren't working out for me, I'm able to talk to her because I'm comfortable with my emotions. I am very aware and centered in my heart, in my emotions, and my purpose for life. I'm not afraid to talk to her about them. Now, sometimes I'm still working on this. I am still a work in progress. There are times where sometimes I have to say to her, honey, I'm not there able to talk to this yet. And she trusts me. She gives me the time for me to work my shit out, work myself out. And I then go and talk to her about problems. But we have built that relationship on trust between us, where we're able to do that with each other. And she doesn't take it personally or get upset. She probably does a little bit. But we have that trust between each other now that we're at a stage where she understands that when I need to close down for a little bit, work it all out, I will come and talk to her, and I do. Because I do believe that as men, we don't take care of our mental health. We don't take care. We're told to suck it up all the time, live these ideals of a macho man because that's what Hollywood or other people tell us what we need to lead. Yet that leaves us miserable, unhappy. We're not authentic. We're not grounded. We're not living our purpose. We're not living aligned with values. One of the biggest things that I have since learnt taking this on is the fact that I don't care for trends anymore. I don't care for them. I don't care with what everyone else is doing, what's going on. What I care about is me understanding my values, my purpose. Making sure that my decisions, I am 100% accountable for the decisions I make. The decisions that affect my family, I am accountable. I say what I mean what I say. We don't bend on these things. Because I am comfortable in my masculine core. I'm not being emasculated because that's what's going on in the world and, men shouldn't be these things. I agree the alpha male rubbish is just rubbish. It's been perpetuated and it creates unhealthy relationships. And ultimately, men, guys, we want to feel love and freedom from our woman. We want the freedom. I'm sure you're in the same boat. You want to feel free. You want to feel loved. You want to know that the woman standing beside you brings out the best in you. And I'm here to tell you, you can have that. You can have that if you choose, and you choose to walk this path. I have walked this path, and if you're willing, walk with me today.